Good evening. My name is Raju Balakrishnan. It is my privilege to serve as the Dean of the Merrick School of Business here at the University of Baltimore. And it is also my privilege to welcome you all to the 4th Annual Real Estate Fellows and Venture Challenge here at the University of Baltimore. I think we informally refer to this as the pitch for $1 million, So this is obviously a very special program, and not just for the participants who are pitching with the hope of getting some financial backing for their innovative ideas, but it is a special program for the Merrick School of Business because our real estate and economic development program is one of our niche programs and something we are very proud of, and we attract some excellent students to that program. And this is also a very special program for the city of Baltimore because, as you will see, all the projects are about Baltimore, about economic development and real estate opportunities in Baltimore. So it is kind of a win-win-win situation for everybody involved, and so I'm really excited about this program. I want to take the time to thank our wonderful judges. You will hear more about them in a moment. All the participants for doing this, and most importantly, the sponsors. And we have sponsors who are sponsoring the program itself and sponsors who are sponsoring the prize money that the winners will get. And you will hear about all the sponsors in a moment. So please, I do want to point out that when the event is done, don't rush off. There is going to be a reception out there with food. So hopefully you will join us there and stick around to hear about who is winning the competition today. It is now my pleasure to introduce Seema Iyer, advisor and co-founder of the Real Estate Fellows Program, who will be moderating tonight's event.
Good evening, and great to be back on campus. Good to see old friends, and very excited to hear from our students today. This is a program that started, we like to say, on the back of an envelope. For those, the partner that is working with us on this is the Baltimore Community Lending Foundation. And Bill Ariano, which some of you knew Bill. I knew Bill when he was at the Maryland Department of Housing, when I was here at the University of Baltimore heading up the Baltimore Neighborhood Indicators Alliance, and as director of the real estate program. And one of the things that he would always tell me was, we have money to specifically give, or lend, not give, lend in neighborhoods that don't otherwise see that kind of lending. But we're looking for competent developers. And I said, I hear in my classrooms students that have just about what they need to become those kind of competent developers, but they need a little bit of an extra mentorship, a little bit of an extra push, a little bit more of a network than they might have already. And so these are literally on the street. We'd be walking, talking, and then we thought up this idea that what if we kind of basically got our heads together, got our organizations together, got the university and BCL together to really make it worth our while to get students that kind of extra leverage and get BCL, what they're looking for too is competent developers that can actually take that kind of lending into the neighborhoods that we see. So for those of you that are from Baltimore or maybe not from Baltimore, it doesn't take a lot of education or knowledge to see that there are disparities in our city. There's some neighborhoods where you see cranes going up like gangbusters, and unfortunately we have some neighborhoods where those cranes haven't come for decades. And that's not to say that these are neighborhoods that don't require continuous improvement of their neighborhoods, but they don't attract the kind of development return that some of the kind of fancier developers go into. So we are looking with BCL to take that kind of quiet money and help developers understand the needs of neighborhoods. You don't come into a neighborhood and just say, this is what I'm gonna do, which is what I think our fellows figured out. It's that the community is working to try and improve their own situation, and what they want are developers that are willing to listen. Our students at the University of Baltimore are precisely those kind of developers. And you're going to hear not only their passion, but their innate knowledge of why some of these neighborhoods have experienced what they have, and their passion to kind of try and be a part of the solution. So that is the purpose of the program. And what you're going to hear is wonderful ideas on what they heard from a community perspective, what they learned from a business perspective. They got to pay back a potential loan. That's basically what they're here to do. And make sure that they can have a viable business after that. So a lot of work has gone into what you're about to see. They each get 8 minutes to kind of make their pitch to you in the audience and to our judges. But much, much, much work has gone on before that. And regardless of who may, quote unquote, win, I hope they all feel like they have won because they've gained so much knowledge for whatever they end up doing beyond today. So round of applause to our fellows before they even start. So in addition to BCL, like I said, Bill Ariano and I kind of walking on the street just making some of this work. One of the first people that we talked to was Henry Mortimer, who heads up our Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, because he knows how to do these kind of events. And I don't know it. Thank you, Henry, for all of your help getting us not only to tonight, but all of the work for the last 8 or 9 years that you've helped me think through how a pitch competition like this would be something that we can do. So thank you, Henry. We also had wonderful support from M&T Bank, and you're going to hear from Augie Chiosera in a minute, to basically fund the fellows' ability to spend time with us, right? They're spending a lot of time learning about this, and they got design services through the fellowship program for each one of their projects with Neighborhood Design Center. And I don't know if Carla or Lubna are here. Oh, hey, great, all the way back there. I can't see you. But thank you so much to the Neighborhood Design Center. We thought about one of the things that real estate developers need to know is how to design in a way that your final product would be something that somebody would want to buy and use or occupy. And that's why it's so important for developers to really be working hand in glove with designers and architects. And so the Neighborhood Design Center has been with us the entire time, working with each one of our fellows, not only in the design, but to really think about how does the real estate function when you're ready to go? Because that's what the lender is going to be looking at, right? Can you rent it? Can you sell it? Will it actually meet the market when you get there? And then also, in terms of what the dean had said, and not just supporting the actual program, but one of the things that was a little bit of a shock when we started the program back in 2018, 2019, was that we had developers that wanted to help fund the equity portion of a real estate project. So that's the prize money. And I want to thank the David Resnick Foundation for providing funds to the prize money, and David Tufaro, who I did not see yet, but David Tufaro is a local developer who also gave, and other developers kind of gave to the equity fund. Because here's the thing about development. Large-scale developers love little developers, because the little developers are the ones that are going to make sure their large-scale developer fits into the rest of the neighborhood. So they want small developers like our fellows may become to be successful, because it's only going to help everybody. So an interesting kind of thing that happened during the project is that people actually wanted to fund the prize money too. So appreciate our sponsors for that. So like I said, this is our 4th cohort, and I want to, one interesting thing I think about this is our first cohort, you're gonna hear from Tiffany a little bit later, is that real estate is a set of industries. Real estate the developer is what you might call the quarterback, but it involves brokers and lenders and title companies and contractors and designers and so many parts of the development process. And what our fellows had to learn is how to work with all of those different kind of entities. Well, sometimes what's fascinating about this project is that the fellows ended up working with each other. And all of our fellows have actually come back to mentor subsequent cohorts, so that each one of our cohorts, this is 2020, that was an unusual year because that was the pandemic year, I think our longest cohort. they actually got to know each other. And as the mentor for all of this is 2022, and then this is our current cohort, what's nice is that we have built a network of potential future developers amongst themselves. So from this group, we had one person start his own construction company, and Hayden Wyatt came back and actually provided mentorship to all of our subsequent cohorts. Makita, I don't know if Makita's here. Makita was probably the broker for every fellow. She ended up helping almost everyone. And on. All of the fellows actually helped each other. And so now we have this kind of wonderful 4 cohorts worth of a network that this year's fellows can always count on in the future, because that's what development is all about. It's really a huge network, making sure that they can do this. I had the privilege, obviously, to get to know all the cohorts, and as a faculty member, as an advisor, you can't put enough, not money, but you can't put enough value in how much you get to watch young people kind of try to go for their golden ring, and it's been my privilege to get to know all of you. And as I told some of you, you're not done with me, I am always a text away for whatever project you might need in the future. And trust me, I've had fellows reach back out to me to get help on their projects as they move forward. So today is just the beginning of joining into this network and cohort that you're going to be a part of. And I look forward to always working with you into the future. It's a great special bond that we've had, and I'm grateful that we had this chance to do that. Unfortunately, one of the things that also binds us is the loss of 2 of our fellows over the past couple of years. And I know those fellows that are in the room, this is painful to see their names here, but I do think it's important to say their name because they were such a great part of the program and a great part of Baltimore. So this is something else that we shared while we were here. So now I'm going to turn on to the program so that you know what's going to happen, because one of the things that, even though Bill and I were the ones that kind of were on the street chatting about this, I'm not sure, but Sean Russell was the one that ended up doing all the work. Sean and I probably had a yin and yang relationship. Maybe one of us was good cop, bad cop. I don't know which one of us was which, but I want to thank Sean for being such an incredible partner throughout the entire time. I think between the 2 of us, we provided hopefully excellent kind of complimentary advice to the fellows as they were making it through this. So I want to bring up Sean.
Thank you, Seema. I'm Sean Russell. I'm the Vice President and Chief Lending Officer with Baltimore Community Lending. Baltimore Community Lending has been in existence for about 34 years. We've been in the community development space of real estate, working with developers that are producing anything from affordable housing to mixed-use projects to small commercial projects to community facilities that are offering services to the neighborhoods in which we work, which tend to be the underserved neighborhoods, and we really work to focus on working with developers that are bringing projects that stabilize the neighborhoods, that makes what's left when they're done so much better than it was where they started. And so we've been very, very happy to be committed to and working with the READ program on this cohort each year, and it's been an amazing ride. And I've worked with a number of amazing fellows who have gone through this program. So we're glad we're here. We want to continue to do this. And Seema and the READ have been just such great partners in this. So we're looking forward to doing more. And we're looking really forward to this competition tonight. And hopefully finding 1 or 2 developers, or maybe more, that have projects that effectively can be done and can make happen, can stabilize neighborhoods, and can do the right thing, and also be profitable for the developer that is working on it. So thank you.
All right, we're going to get started with a couple of inspiring quotes, because I think the fellows and all of us know all the support that could be used to get these projects off the ground. And I want to start by bringing up Augie Chiosero, who's the president of the Chesapeake region for M&T Bank.
And Seema, I can't believe this has been like 4 years and that this is cohort 4. Yep. And what's
Longer than 4 years with cohort 4.
Right, but what's remarkable about it, just, 4 sounds like a small number, but when you look at the number of individuals that are part of each cohort and the connections they make within the real estate community, that 4 has a multiplier effect that you captured that is absolutely remarkable. And I'm glad that we've been able to be a part of this for a long time. Thank you. It's funny, at M&T Bank, we believe strongly in the transformative power of development and investment and supporting entrepreneurs like you're going to be seeing today. And what I like most about the work that Cohort 4 is focused on is development in middle market neighborhoods, because it's those neighborhoods that make a difference. In addition to being at M&T Bank, I also happen to chair the Baltimore Development Corporation, which is focused on economic development for the city overall. Not just the projects that you see coming up and around the harbor, but also those projects happening in our neighborhoods, on our main streets. And what's amazing when you look over time on how efforts and projects like this really measure up is measured up in impact. And if you look at the investment going on in Baltimore City today and you kind of add up what's happening, it is well over $6 billion. And that moves the needle in a remarkable way. And what's exciting about the cohort that we're going to hear from today is I hope very quickly that you'll be part of that future $6.5 billion investment that we're seeing right now, but sometime in the future. But thanks for your engagement. Thanks for your involvement, and thanks for allowing Baltimore to become the best that it can become. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to hearing the competition.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Augie. And now I'm going to bring up Tiffany. Tiffany? Green? Is she behind me? Oh, she's coming. All right. She's taking her time because she's got enough to say, and you're going to be amazed by this wonderful woman who won the first one and the great story that she has to tell.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Let me start by just saying thank you. Thank you, Professor Seema, for just believing. Thank you for moving forward with that idea on a piece of paper or a napkin, right? And that's how it all starts. Start with ideas, start with the seed that's planted. So I thank you. Sean Russell, I thank you for just being present. You, Bill, everybody from BCL, just paving the way and making opportunities possible. I have to give a special shout out to Mr. Campbell. Thank you for coaching me. I know sometimes I gave you a hard time coming in and saying, oh, wow, Mr. Campbell, what do I do next? But you always pick up the phone, and you always were there. And I just thank you all. I thank the University of Baltimore for just always continuing to provide opportunities such as this. And so, why am I here tonight? First, I thought I was doing the opening remarks. Seema was like, no, look at the schedule. And I was like, okay. So this message today is specifically for those who will grace us with their presence on the stage, those who are preparing to pitch. This message is for you. And if anyone else want to catch on to it, you definitely can. So I said to myself, then I said to God, what do I talk about today? The art of mastering divine appointments. Because today, it is a divine appointment. So today, I stand before you to speak about the art of mastering divine appointments. In life, we often find ourselves at intersections of opportunity and destiny, where the timing seems impeccable and the outcome feels preordained. These opportunities and these moments are not merely chance encounters, but rather orchestrated events designed to shape our journey and fulfill our purpose. Mastering divine appointments requires a deep understanding of oneself and a willingness to embrace the unknown that it requires us to be open to new opportunities and to listen intently to those whispers and those slight nudges, because indeed they do come. And move forward in unwavering faith, knowing that it will work out for your good. So, as I transition, I want you all to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just imagine yourself winning this competition, because you already won, okay? So I work for the federal government now, and in the federal government, we tend to use a lot of acronyms, right? And so the acronym today that I want to leave you all with is BUILT, because you are built for this. So, believe. Believe that it is possible. Believe that you are divine, this is your divine moment and opportunity for you to show up here and continue to show up. Believe that that vision that you had when you were a child versus the vision that you have now versus the dreams that you might experience when you shut your eyes, it will happen. The more you believe it, the more you will see it. And why do I say that it's important for you to believe? Because you're going to have opportunity. There's going to be moments where distractions come in. There's going to be moments where you're faced with challenges. Some of you may know, while most of you may not know, during the time that I was a part of the cohort, I lost my job. I was living on Section 8. I even had to go apply for welfare. But you know what I did? I never forgot the vision. I never stopped believing. So what did I do every day? I showed up. So when I was running low on gas, I still showed up. And sometimes I almost didn't make it. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I live in Frederick. I almost didn't make it, okay? Even my car, Maxine, okay? She was a 1997 Nissan Maxima. And she was like, girl, I'm over you. And I'm over these potholes. I'm over everything, okay? But she worked with me and she held me through. So I tell you, continue to believe. The next thing I want you to do is understand. Sometimes we are so quick to jump in, roll our sleeves up, and jump into it and do. But I want you to understand what impact you're about to make. I want you to understand what's happening in the neighborhood that you want to develop in. Don't just go and develop and leave. Get an understanding. Know what their needs are. Meet their needs. The more you gain an understanding of that, then you'll be better off. So I say that because I didn't know one thing about these neighborhoods in Baltimore. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, okay? I'm still a city girl, okay? And I had to take the time out to really get to know some of the people in these various different neighborhoods. And I would tell you to this day, I'm in communication with them. I'm talking to them. I even refer people from Frederick who wants to get into development to them. So don't just go and build. Get an understanding. Get an understanding of the neighborhood that you want to have impact in. The next one is invest. Invest in yourself. Invest in those surrounding you. Use your time, talent, and treasures to shape this world. And don't stop. Don't stop. If the University of Baltimore can invest in you, if your mentors can invest in you, and the people sitting around you can invest in you, then guess what? It's your time to invest in others. So do it. And do it. Do it with excellence. Don't just half do it. Don't just go into a neighborhood and say, I'm doing a cosmetic makeup. Because that's what some construction workers told me. Oh, you can just put that over it. I said, imagine if I were to allow someone to live in this. So I want them to live in whatever I want to live in. So deliver with excellence, because it's worth the investment. I didn't know that the house that I was building would be for a single mom who just became a widow, lost her husband during COVID. I didn't know that. But when I walked in that house, I said, whoever this house is for, I'm going to put my all in all into this project. because I know that it's going to meet a need. So know that. The next thing is leverage. Oh, this is a good one, y'all. Leverage, leverage, leverage. You will be successful if you learn the master of leveraging. Leverage resources. Know the resources. Know people. Leverage, okay? Understand the importance of leveraging. When I did the competition, they talked about 20%. Then I tell you, I was broke, okay? I was broke. I didn't have no job. But I learned the art of leveraging relationships and building relationships. I never knew that just by doing a closing with my loan officer, that she, for my own house, that she would then be the investor for my project. So know the importance of leveraging and build upon that. Not only that, don't stop with UB. There's other organizations too that can help. Continue to do that. Don't stop at BCL. Continue to work with BCL. Y'all need to leverage that. And any other bank that is working with this program, y'all need to leverage those opportunities. BCL showed up. And when I say they showed up, they held my general contract accountable. They held me accountable because they wanted their money, y'all. They told me they wanted their money. So leverage, okay? And I know I'm running out of time, and I could be long-winded sometimes, but I'm going to end with this. I'm on T, right? Okay. Team. Sometimes people miss this one because especially if you are a doer by nature and you tend to do a lot of things on your own, the significant part of the project that I worked on was the fact that I had a team. Makita, she helped me. I know you guys, I call her Kita, okay? We on that type of level. I call her Kita. Kita was my realtor, and she stepped up to the plate. Then I had Mr. Campbell. I had Nicole Battle. I had Amy Wolf, who was my investor. I'm not going to give y'all my GC name because it's a golden rule in construction. Be careful who you share your GC with. But I love my GC. And just though my GC showed up, and he showed up, the reason why I say build your team is this. In 2019, while I was building the company, I kept on being anxious. Then I had to revisit, don't be anxious for nothing. Slow yourself. And so that whole entire time while I'm searching for property and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to close now, my GC walked me through the process. I didn't close on a property until 2022. Yes, I heard that. What? That's the key of, remember I said leveraging and building relationships. We are that cool now to where I call him, I say, hey, he'd be like, you got a project? I'll be like, no, not yet. But you have to build your team. You cannot do this by yourself. It is better when you do it together. So you might pitch separately, but later on down the line, you might come together and be able to build a whole entire block. So I'm gonna leave you with this. You are built for this because this indeed is your moment. This is indeed a divine appointment. So seize the moment, come up here, shine, but just know it's not about who wins because every last one of y'all are winners. They might, and sometimes BCL and this whole panel surprise you. Y'all might all walk away with winners. I'm just, I shouldn't be saying that, but I don't know, promise. But at the end of the day, just know that you already won. You already won. So continue to do the work and continue to show up.
I told you. Nice job, Tiffany. That was amazing. There's way more to that story. I didn't know about the fact that the person that bought it, I didn't know that story, so that's great. All right, you ready? Let me introduce you to our judges. We already heard about Deacon Campbell. Lawrence Campbell is with the WBC CDC and is retired from Northern Grummet and deacon at Wayland Baptist Church. Want to wave to everybody. Charlie Fenwick, Managing Director at Cushman Wakefield and member of the Real Estate and Economic Development Board here at the University of Baltimore. Karen Forbes is Assistant Director in Community Economic Development for the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, and also a member of the Real Estate Board here at the University of Baltimore. Clarence Snuggs is Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at Baltimore Community Lending. And Michael Tagg is Vice President and Commercial Credit Resolution Officer at West Banco Bank and member of the BCL Board of Directors. All right, so what's going to happen is that each one of our fellows who you get to meet, the stars of the event, this is the order that they're going to go in, and they, I think, are coming to the back to get mic'd, or are they already, Kishoni's already ready to go? Okay. So Kishoni's going to get 8 minutes, and then you'll have about 5 minutes of Q&A with our judges, and then we'll give the judges a few minutes just to wrap their thoughts before we turn to the next person. Everybody ready? All right. Kishoni, you ready?
Oh, great.
And you have
And then
but now you're free.
this is go next to the next one.
I think it's
Hello, good evening. Can everyone hear me? Great. Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight, and thank you, Tiffany. That's going to be hard to follow, but we have so much for you tonight, and I proudly am going to share with you dandelion development. Here's an agenda that we're going to go through tonight, but these are what I would like to call our key takeaways from my pitch. So, our mission at Dandelion Development is to rebuild, educate, and offer spaces to people who would like to revolutionize their life through skills and a welcoming environment. Who is Dandelion Development? Well, my name is Kishane Davis. I'm the president and CEO. I was born and raised in Baltimore City, and I'm a senior at the University of Baltimore, studying real estate and economic development. I currently work in commercial real estate. However, community development is my passion. Our CFO is Antoine Davis. Not only is he my brother, but he is very well versed in high-risk management and the president of a holding firm named SDG Estates. Our general contractor is Genesis Contracting. They are a one-stop shop and have been contracting in Baltimore City for 15 years. And last but not least, we have Park Heights Renaissance, the resource company of Park Heights, a nonprofit organization, and also our future tenant. So, our business model is simple: research, abstract, and design. Using the research, we choose which neighborhoods to approach based on Baltimore's impact investment neighborhoods. Then we abstract that and use ideas from that need-based research to go into older and existing community spaces. Then we design our structures based on community development, revitalization, and sustainability. So we've decided our first project is going to be in Park Heights. And with the Park Heights Renaissance, we have so much more to show you. This is an excerpt from the 2006 Park Heights Master Plan. It goes to show that even now, mixed-use commercial spaces are necessary for revitalization. You can see the Belvedere Center and this Cold Spring Center. Mixed-use spaces allow for amenities for constituents like green spaces and retail shopping. Affordable housing is a priority, but affordable living is as well. Using some of these demographics, we've honed in on the target market that we'd like to provide for. So our target market is going to be 18 to 65, so basically everyone, but specifically people that are interested in joining the workforce or picking up a new skill. We're going to touch a little bit on education. In the Park Heights area, there's 71% of high school graduates, and then there's 64% of those high schoolers that are absent. I think it is our job as developers not to speculate as to why or not they did go to school, but to give them options after school to hone in on skills and to better their lives. So, in turn, we found our site. This is 4355 Park Heights Avenue. This is a central location on Park Heights and Cold Spring Lane. It is about 0.5 miles from the West Cold Spring train station. It is accessible via bus north to south and east to west. And it's a mile from the closest high school, about a 20-minute walk on a nice day. And with the Park Heights Renaissance and Dandelion development, we're going to give you room to build. So let's talk about room to build. Room to build is going to be Park Heights Tool Library. A tool library is just like a book library, but you lend out tools to do any project that you could think of, whether it's a DIY, home renovation, home restoration, and any other type of thing where you would need any type of tools to use. I'm going to walk you through the tool library. One second. Let's see if this works. Okay, so as you can see, you walk in, there's two double doors that are very welcoming, and you go in and you check in using a valid ID. If you have to be 18 years older or with a guardian. And then you'll get some PPE regardless based on what kind of project that you're wanting to do today, from glasses to gloves. And then you'll walk into the tool library. It's a very open space. And in the tool library, you'll have everything from a drill bit to an electric wood saw. And then you'll have the classroom, where you can do some safety classes for the tools that you're going to check out, and so they know that you can handle these tools. And in the back, there's an ADA accessible restroom. This is the first floor of the entire 4355 Park Heights Avenue, and it's completely accessible. There's no steps to enter, needed to enter. This is also a part of the site, in the red right there, and this is going to be a community garden, another amenity for the community. You do not have to be a part of the tool library to use it. However, there will be hours where it will be open for people. And based on the classes that are given in the tool library, plumbing, electrical, woodworking, gardening, horticulture, there will be options for that in the tool library as well. So we have strategized a 2-year action plan. We're here now at 2024, sourcing, and by third quarter, we hope to stabilize the entire building. I showed you the first floor. There is a second floor that still needs to be stabilized with electrical and HVAC, which is another 1,200 square feet. By the beginning of January 2025, we have planned to deliver the space to the Park Heights Renaissance so they can underway their tool library. After generating some income, we're going to begin renovating the second floor, which is a flex space that can be used for residential or commercial use. And then, by the end of 2025, we plan to begin vetting the second floor tenants so that it's in the same likeness with the Park Heights Renaissance, so they're all working cohesively. So, how much is it going to cost? That's why we're all here. To acquire the building, it's going to be $50,000. And with our hard costs at a 15% contingency, plus our soft costs at a 5% contingency, it's going to cost $301,465,000. Sorry. And then, with our cash, grants, and our final ask from BCL, Baltimore Community Lending, we asked for $171,465. So how are we going to pay this off? For our debt service, we're going to use the revenue from just the first floor with 3% increases, and just by the end of 2025, we're to get close to $2,200 with operating expenses budgeted. So how are we going to do this? Who's going to help us out? Our partners. We're going to be working with Baltimore Department of Housing and Community Development, the Community Development Block Grants through HUD, and also the National Capital Strategic Economic Development Fund. So, in summary, I would like to say that our grantors, our lenders, our community members, we all have the same common goal, and that is to offer comprehensive, accessible spaces to everyone in Baltimore City. So what's next after the tool library? Dandelion Development will use the tool library as a catalyst for a workforce development program in Baltimore City and in Park Heights. Thank you.
You could not have timed that better. That was 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Good job. Judges, you have about 5 minutes of questions.
I'll go ahead first. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
In looking at the tenant that will be in there, and then looking at what you're planning on doing with the second floor.
Correct.
The strategy will be a buy and hold until the second floor is completed and fully
Yes.
occupied?
That's correct. So the revenue that we're to generate in the next year is to be solely from the first tenant, but yes, the buy and hold, the property was $50,000 for both floors.
Okay. And then the 100,000 in grants, where would that come from? Have
Yep,
you
so-
sourced that?
Not just yet, but we have put in applications with the DH, Baltimore City Community Development, Housing and Community Development, for $50,000 for each floor, which is eligible.
Okay. And then final question, on the tool concept,
Mm-hmm.
will people go in and take tools out?
Yep. So,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
take tools out, how do you ensure that they come back?
So it is a trust-based system, just like a regular library, but you do have to sign up, and there are monthly dues or yearly dues. It's a pay-as-you-go, so it's a sliding scale so it could be almost zero to nothing, but it is a community asset, so we would like to emphasize that they would have to bring it back so the community can also take part as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
I have a question in regard to the construction and your documentation.
Yeah, I can go.
The current building has as a covering on it of old
The
siding.
That's correct.
And all the way around to the back. And you plan to take all that siding off?
Yes, sir, and fix the brick as needed. It was, let me get I stole this from my cat. So
Okay.
right here where we are with the brick repairs,
Right.
and then the fixtures and the fit out, that's the 21,500 for the siding, and also there's a bump out on the actual structure where the siding was. We would have to take that off to see
Okay,
what's
the reason I
actually
was
there.
asking the question, because I didn't see anything that said that you were taking any siding off. You had brick repairs, and I was trying to figure out what
What was going to go there? Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sorry, yes. Yes, so there will remain the brick. One of the things that we are hoping to be an amenity for the neighborhood as well is a mural, but that's for Park Heights to decide who will ever do that. You can't do that over, I mean, I guess you could, but brick is best for murals.
Yeah. Well, I drive by that particular building every day.
Oh, really?
So
Nice.
I'm very, very familiar with it, and it's been an eyesore for over 10 years. So, yes, it does need some work to say, at the least. The other question I have is, you don't have anything in your, under demolition of old walls. Do you have anything in your work that takes care of the environmental issues that come with removing the walls and the brick and the other stuff, because you've got asbestos and other things are there? So that might be something you might want to consider including in your sources.
Great. Definitely, thank you for that. I think right here, I kind of summed it in with the environmental studies and the soil reports, just because I know the wall has been there for a while and it will have to be demoed depending on lead paint or asbestos.
Okay.
Thank you.
That would be my only suggestion, is that you would think about that line item of the appraisal of environmental studies and soil reports, because sometimes that's going to go, just one of those items can run you $7,500. So
Okay.
you might want to buffer that
Okay.
quite a bit.
Thank you.
I'd like to take a step back. I want to understand, I'm not familiar with this particular property, but I want to understand what caused you to select this particular site. It seems like a challenging site, so I'm curious about that. But I also want to take one step further to understand how you got to the decision that a tool library was what the community needed.
Of course. So working with Park Heights Renaissance, Desiree, I think I see her if she's here, we talked about the needs of the community, and there are a lot of community. I didn't want to go full residential, but I didn't want to go full commercial, so I thought a flex space would work. We talked about a lot of civic centers and things that could just be done, and the tool library was something that I've seen personally. There's one in Station North, but there's not one accessible to West Baltimore. And so we talked about that, and we thought that that would be a central location. Now that location is in their redevelopment site. So they're gonna go all the way up Park Heights Avenue and down Cold Spring and over to Reisterstown Road to do their reimagining for Park Heights. And so it's right in their, go back. It's right in their zoning of where they would like to repurpose a lot of the buildings right there. There was a Bill's Bondsman, that was the building that I'm pitching, and then right across there is a liquor store. So we're trying, and there's a Rite Aid, and so we're trying to bring some more amenities to the community that aren't just retail.
Got one more question from the judges?
Yeah, I'll ask a question, and you may have answered this. I'm just new to this.
Of course, me too.
You're doing a great job,
Thank you.
and there's a great career for you in real estate. Could you explain a little bit what the long-term goals of this project will be for you personally, and what is the return on that $30,000 potential equity investment? Do you have any kind of thoughts on where you want to
Personally,
be?
growing up in West Baltimore, I said I grew up in Baltimore City, but I grew up in West Baltimore, so this part of Baltimore is really special to me. I think that there's a lot of things that you can do. When you have the areas to incite imagination, you can get a lot of those things out of that. So with the tool library, I was thinking, skateboarders could come in and do that. A lot of people could come in and do some renovations on their homes that they could not maybe afford. That really is my takeaway from that with my personal interest. And I'm sorry, you said the equity of $30,000?
Yeah, what kind of a return on that? You mentioned some $22,000 a year, maybe. What's your return look like on that $30,000?
I would hope that over the term of the loan, I would get my full return back, but probably no more than probably 50% of that.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
Thanks for being number one. All right, everybody, take a 2-second stretch. We'll let the judges just regroup themselves before we start with Phaedra. And I'm assuming she's all mic'd up, ready to go. 2 minutes. Feeling positive? You ready? All right. We are going to turn to contestant number 2, Phaedra. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Phaedra Stewart, and I am the owner and operator of Seriously Positive LLC. I received my MBA from the University of Baltimore, and participating in the UB Reed Fellows Program has helped me to significantly increase my knowledge of real estate development and has provided me with resources that have been invaluable. Oh. Thank you.
Big green button.
The big green button. Okay. So my company's goals and guiding principles are centered around self-worth, self-respect, and valuing others. Creating a more positive mental state by rehabilitating distressed properties and transforming previously neglected neighborhoods. My focus is on the Oliver community. Oliver is in the Eastern District of East Baltimore, and its boundaries are North Avenue, Enzer Street, Biddle Street, and Broadway. Why Oliver, you may ask? In addition to having childhood ties in and around the neighborhood, Oliver is strategically positioned for growth. It's close to Johns Hopkins Hospital, Kaiser Permanente. It's easily accessible to downtown Baltimore and Penn Station. There's also surrounding development that's occurring around Oliver. Some of the initiatives that are taking place are listed here, but to just point out a few, there's a new apartment building that was constructed at Harford Avenue and Preston Street, and there's a new tiny home community called Hope Village, which is being constructed in the 1300 block of Holbrook Street. In addition, DHCD recently awarded the community a $100,000 grant for a strategic plan for the neighborhood. And I am appreciative because I've been invited to help out with that plan. There's also surrounding development. So I'm going to try and use Kashoni's cat thingy. So this is Oliver here in the green. If you look here, this is the Middle East, and this is Old Town, Somerset, and Perkins. And those two are also being developed. In addition, there is a new supermarket that is being built at the corner of Central and Orleans Streets. And that's going to be a big plus for the neighborhood because that is actually less than a mile away, and it is in a food desert. So my project is in the 1300 block of Asquith Street, right at Asquith and Preston. I just completed a rehabilitation at 1322 Asquith, and the next phase will include 1308, 1310, and 1316 Asquith Street. The green shaded area here is 1322, and the green dots along the side, those represent the remaining properties that I'm focused on. So 1308, 1310, and 1316. At the very bottom is 1300. It's a corner property. I plan to do something with that, but that's phase 3, a little bit down the road. I'm proud to say that when I started working on 1322, it actually sparked activity in the block, and now multiple projects are occurring in the block. And none of my properties, when completed, will be in between two distressed properties. So these pictures actually show the condition of 1322 when I started. No roof, half a back wall, and these are post-construction pictures of the property. I actually completed this project with my own funds. As we got towards the end of the project, my funds got a little dwindled, and I actually had to get a hard money loan. I don't want to ever do that again. As you know, hard money is very expensive, and I'm hoping to be able to utilize this competition in order to do the remaining projects on the block. It was very important for me to finish this project, not only for the neighborhood, but for my own desire to see things through to completion. So the properties on the block actually qualify for the CHAP tax credit. Here's a breakdown of the property tax savings as a result of that tax credit. The tax credit stays in effect for a 10-year period and will result in a significant monthly savings for the homeowner. This is a direct benefit for persons who purchase my properties. So I am here today for funding for phase 2 of my project. Again, the full rehabilitation of 1308, 1310, and 1316 Asquith Street. The cost per property will be approximately $252,000 for a total of $756,000 for the 3 properties. Once completed, my plan is to sell the properties in order to create home ownership. With a sale price of $360,000, the expected profit at a 7% interest rate for the loan is a little more than $51,000, a 16.6% return on the investment. At 8%, a little over $48,000, a 15.8% return on the funds. And then if I get a loan at 9%, we're talking about $46,000 return, about 14.96%. Now, in the event that I am not able to sell the properties in a timely manner, you can see here that if I rent the properties out based upon a $2,700 per month rental rate, I will still be able to meet any debt service that I have with the rent that's coming in, and that's even without that CHAP tax credit. So I'll be able to pay my loan, and I have a little bit left over. With the CHAP tax credit, it's actually a little bit more. So here you can actually see my estimated carry costs, my construction or repair costs for the property, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath property, and then also my total closing and sales expenses. So my sources and uses, with the funds from the pitch competition, as well as an infusion of my own funds of about $64,000, along with the loan for $756,000, we're looking at $849,929. I will actually use those funds for my development costs, the property acquisitions, the construction, the closing or sales expenses, as well as my carrying costs. And you can see that my sources and my uses are equal. Some comps from the neighborhood. These are all within a quarter mile of the 1300 block of Asquith Street, and they're all on the east side of I-83. If you're familiar with the I-83 corridor, one side's a little different than the other side. These are all on the east side of I-83. Similar properties, and you can see the list prices and the sales prices that occurred. I really think my $360,000 rate is a little modest. So when we get to the time to actually put it on the market, we'll see where the market has advanced. So each property will take about 7 months to complete. The start for each property will be about 2 weeks out from the prior property. So with that succession of starts, we will complete all of the houses within about an 8-month period. And that will allow all of the tradespersons to move from one property to the next pretty easily. And also the project manager for the property will be able to cover all of those and make sure that they're monitoring the progress on the properties properly. So I've developed a relationship with an organization called O'Hara Development. O'Hara Development actually trains families in home ownership. So we've had some folks from their cohort to actually come through 1322 and take a look at the property, and some have actually expressed interest. I've also spoken with a representative from Live Baltimore. Because I've only completed one property on the block, we have to have some more conversations once other properties on the block have been completed to talk about developing a partnership. I also am working with a real estate agent who's in the audience, and we've talked about putting the properties on the MLS and having some open houses to ensure that people are aware of the property. I should win this competition because I have actually done this before. I have completed a project on that same block, and I have the others that I want to complete. Also, I have a wealth of resources to assist me in the completion of the project, and this is not a one and done for me. This is something that I am planning to commit for a long time in the future because I do want to make an impact in Baltimore, and I am committed to the Oliver community. So thank you to a host of people who have been instrumental in my success thus far: Dave Lazis, Jeff Connolly, Willie Moore, Larissa Salamacha, and the UB Reed Fellows staff and guests, my development team, architects Arenco, LLC, and Neighborhood Design Center, CHAP consultant Neil Junker and Sharon Sidechick, Lannis Construction, Neb Sayaum is the general contractor, and then my partners, the Baltimore Oliver Community Association, or BOCA, the Charm City Buyers Group, Khalil and Kiera Ukta, O'Hara Developments, Joanna Bartholomew is the owner of that, and then, of course, my family and friends. So thank you all very much. I appreciate all of your support. Okay. Judges? Yes.
Do you want to have any renderings in here, what your building's going to look like?
I do not have any renderings in there. No, I did not put
Is
those
there a
in.
reason?
No particular reason. I thought when I showed the pictures of the existing property, you could kind of see what it looked like, but I can provide those if necessary.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I got the picture of what it looks like now, but, and what you did with the property is amazing.
Thank you.
But my question was what the new one's going to look like. So I'll hold off on that question.
Okay,
Second-
I'm sorry,
No,
I could
no.
explain it if you'd like. It's a 3-story property. So the first floor has a living room, dining room, and kitchen, along with a half bath and a closet. The second floor has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a laundry room.
Okay.
And then the entire third floor is an owner's suite. So there's an owner's bedroom, owner's closet, and an owner's bath. And then the basement for the current property is unfinished. However, I'm planning to finish the basements in the other properties.
Do you plan on, or do you need the issue of those sump pumps?
So in the current property, we have not needed a sump pump. However, there will be an egress in the new one, so I have to talk to my construction person to see if we need sump
Baltimore
pumps.
City is famous for doing that.
Yes.
Okay. The last question is, you had something in your documentation that dealt with removal of trees and planting of trees.
Yes.
Could you explain that, please?
Absolutely. So in the entire Oliver neighborhood, there is a tree planting initiative. So they are going through the different blocks of the neighborhoods and planting trees at the curb. Some old trees are being removed because there's a lot of dead trees in the area, but that is an initiative on the part of the Oliver community to plant more trees in the neighborhood.
That's not your initiative.
Not mine personally, no. But on the block where I am, we have 3 dead trees, so we are working on getting new trees there. Yes.
The reason I asked the question was because I know the Oliver neighborhood, and there are a lot of,
Everybody wants
There's
to
a
hear
lot
your
of ta-
wisdom, young man.
okay, there's a lot of trees in Oliver that are very, very old because Baltimore's an
Yes.
old city.
Absolutely.
And you have that issue. So my concern was, it wasn't in your pro forma. So I was wondering how you were going to address that, but you're saying you're not addressing it, the city's going to address it.
Yes, and I
Okay.
actually had a conversation with one of the members of the community on Tuesday at a community association meeting about starting that process of getting the trees in the 1300 block of Asquith removed and having new trees planted. Yes, you're welcome.
First off, excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Excellent package.
Thank you.
Well thought out from start to finish. Your current project, 1322 Asquith.
Yes.
Currently on the market?
Not on the market yet. We had some issues with getting the water meter installed, and DPW dug some things up, and we are trying to get that corrected. I didn't want to start showing the property with the front of the property not completely concreted.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think you will list that property for?
I'm planning to list that one for $365.
365? And that's with the unfinished basement?
Correct. What we did actually was paint the floors and brace the walls and just kind of made it look very neat.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the fact that you took a look at using CHAP, benefit not only for a potential buyer, but if you have to fall back on your contingency plan, Obviously, the 10-year reduction in the real estate taxes, the difference between 400 or 500 and a couple thousand, obviously impacts your cash flow.
Yes.
So nice job there.
Thank you.
Last question on the block. You've got a lot of activity going on the block. And as we know, you can have a $365,000 house today, and if your neighbor sells for $250,000,
Yes.
it's going to impact your value. Do you have any idea what the other homeowners or people are doing as far as the renovation? Are they doing a renovation that is the same level as yours, that will keep that price range in the mid 300s?
So there's a house directly next door to mine, 1324, and that gentleman and I do have conversation regularly, and we visit each other's properties regularly. His level of renovation, he's actually very competitive, and he's trying to exceed mine. There's also a gentleman who is, he has 1332 Asquith. House not in the same condition as the ones that we purchased, but we've also been talking to him about his property. So we're trying to make sure we're coming together and working cohesively so that everybody is presenting something that's similar.
Okay. And then last question on the 60,000 plus that you're looking to put into the deal.
Yes.
Does that exhaust all your liquidity, or is there other liquidity that you have beyond that 60 plus?
There's a little bit more,
Okay.
not a lot.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phaedra. That was amazing.
Thank you.
You can see the sighs of relief when they get off the stage. Judges, you got 2 minutes. Everybody else can take a breath, and then you'll hear from Samantha Mellerson, which is going to be an awesome presentation too. All right, are the judges ready for contestant number 3? Ready? All right, welcome Samantha Mellerson. You could either use this or you could use this.
Hello, I'm Samantha Mellerson, a Baltimore native with a bachelor's and master's degree in business. As an entrepreneur and artist from the vibrant west side of Baltimore City, my journey combines creativity and business. Today, I'm thrilled to share my commitment to innovation and community enrichment. Thank you for this opportunity. Becoming a real estate fellow is fueled by my enduring passion. I aspire to address Baltimore City's housing crisis and simultaneously craft distinct lived workspaces that function as artistic contributions to the community. NONest Builders Corporation is a visionary real estate development team dedicated to crafting living spaces that resonate with the creative spirit. Our entity is driven by a passion for artistic expression and architecture, ensuring homes and workspaces that inspire. With a commitment to fostering a community where artists thrive, we aim to redefine the synergy between living and creating. East Baltimore's Oliver offers housing ranging from $175,000 to $450,000, close to renowned schools like Paul Laurence Dunbar STEM, with essential amenities, community activities, and landmarks like Greenmount Cemetery. Oliver is appealing. Its central location brings it close to major employers and vibrant districts. My site stands proudly on an empty lot, which I call a blank canvas. This property, currently owned by the City of Baltimore, was recently cleared after a demolition. Initially home to 25 row homes, the block has been vacant for decades, with one side hosting vacant houses slated for demolition. This space is an opportunity to create something transformative and innovative. Imagine a canvas for your creativity, not just a home. Our townhomes blend modern and artsy aesthetics, featuring an open concept flooded with natural light. Specially crafted work areas cater to artists, writers, educators, content creators, and musicians, creating an inspiring haven for your aspirations. Introducing an innovative project, merging two lots to create exceptional two-story residences. These 2-bed, 2.5-bath homes feature a spacious design with a 10-foot floor-to-ceiling height, office space, and a dynamic 45 by 22 concrete floor multi-purpose area. Notably, the multi-purpose area is thoughtfully separated from the open-plan kitchen, dining, and living areas, ensuring distinct functionality and setting a new standard for modern living. Building 3 spec homes at a time, our residences blend contemporary style inspired by Ryan Homes, with a unique emphasis on innovation. Tailored to the buyer's preferences, features like shelving units and mobile walls ensures satisfaction and affordability. Addressing a housing crisis with a wait list surpassing 600. Tonight's winnings will actively contribute to the solution. The Versatile Studio is a source of pride, fostering innovation and inspiring an entrepreneurial spirit. It promotes community engagement through walkthroughs at block parties and local events, encouraging residents to showcase their work. It fills a gap for places presenting art and unique offerings. In this sector, we examine the 1200 block of Enzer Street's financial plan, detailing sources and uses of funds strategically allocated for acquisition, construction, and associated expenses. With a total expenditure of $937,000, the primary funding consists of a 90% debt and 10% equity blend. This concise breakdown emphasizes cost distribution, focusing on cost per square foot and unit. The financial overview aims to convey a robust and well-considered investment strategy for the project. The project estimates a profit per house of $51,000 and a total estimated profit of $151,000 upon selling 3 units at a time. The return on investment is highlighted at an impressive 24%, indicating a favorable outcome for the overall investment. Per the CMA Pro report, a 2-bedroom, 1,400 square foot townhome last sold for $275,000 in February of 2023. Our distinctive 2,000 square foot homes are competitively priced from $275,000 to $450,000, considering comparisons with newly constructed 2,000 square foot townhomes. In terms of sales, being part of the artistic community allows me to hold successful showings supported by peers and state representatives. Notably, amid revitalization phases, the community has a significant 600+ waiting list for houses. My innovative approach, strong community engagement, and solid 937 financial plan ensures a positive return and long-term impact. Committed to transparency and understanding community needs, this project can catalyze positive change, transforming a vacant lot into housing for a dozen families. Support me in securing victory for this transformative initiative. Thanks for listening.
I'm Charlie, and well done. I think you presented very well and had a good comprehension of all the issues. My question with some of this that I think you should look at hard is the price per square foot. And I'm sure you've done a lot of research on this, but these smaller units, and I find that, I think you had a base building construction cost of $126, which I think might be I hope you could do it at that, but I also would want you to look at that a little harder, because I think $200 a square foot are some numbers that I'm seeing or have heard of. I'm not as aware of it as you might be, but I just worry about, I like how you converted things to a per square foot cost, and I think that's important in all this stuff, instead of looking at the total numbers, convert it to per square foot cost. But I would review your base building, just because what you're building is very cool and nice, but ground up development can be scary, because the costs can just be much more than anyone thought. So it's not really a critique, it's just more check it, just be passionate about that, because it's new construction, which is what we need in Baltimore, and a lot of these great lots, that's the toughest thing to do. So, well done.
Thank you.
I have a question. I like your presentation. I'm not sure I understand your numbers and your sources and uses, though. I have a question in regard to your purchase cost. You have a purchase cost per unit of $2,083, but you have a total purchase cost of $25,000 for 3 units. So there's a difference of $18,000. The math threw me off.
Right.
Can you help me with that?
Absolutely. So the $2,000 is for 2 lots. Basically, each lot is $1,000. There's 25 lots on the block. I'm planning to purchase the entire block to hold that place in line while I build 3 per unit, each unit.
Okay, that wasn't clear in the presentation. Okay, you understand what I'm talking about? That you were buying 25 lots.
Yes.
Somehow I missed that. Okay, I got you. Now, my other question is moot now. The other question I had was, what did you figure is the demand for your houses in that neighborhood in Oliver?
You said, what is the figure?
What do you figure, you got the comps that are out there. What do you think is the demand for your new kind of house?
Well, there is a high demand because the city of Baltimore knocked down majority of the blocks, so they're really adamant about getting more houses built up. I'm actually meeting with a few representatives of the Department of Housing Community Development just to go to review my plan and to see how I can help them more. They're very interested in the idea. Of course, the numbers are a little bit finicky on the presentation, but I have since corrected those numbers, so I do apologize for the mix-up.
Okay.
Great presentation. My question is, it sounds to me as though some of the attracting market, the market that you are trying to attract are artists.
Yes.
Okay. And so some of the partnerships that you have developed within the community have let you know that in this area that there is a need for that type of housing for artists, and do you have those partnerships, let's say, with MICA or with one of the other institutions within the city?
Yes.
And you've actually done some additional community building, surveying, because Oliver has been a challenge at times
Yeah.
to develop. It's not an oversight necessarily, but a challenge. So really interested to know more about some of your partnerships outside of the city, but your community partnerships, so that we get the ground up feeling that there is actually this need for what you're proposing.
Okay.
That would be great as you move further with your plan.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you for your presentation. I appreciate it. My question is similar. I was looking at, you mentioned a couple times the pent-up demand. I think you estimated around 600 or something like that. You
Yes.
mentioned early on that this was targeted as live work, artists live work. But then on one of your slides, the plan, you described that you're building 3 spec houses. So I wanted to try to see what work was being done to really match that up with actual demand in the community, that there were artists, live work needs in the community, and I didn't see that connection. I was trying to understand, because on one side, spec shakes us, and on the other side, we understand the need for creative solutions to demand, but we wanted to make the connection. I want to make the connection.
Well, basically, for the presentation's sake, the budget, just to get my feet wet and to give them a taste of what is offered. The demand is already, available. So once we build those 3, like a rinse and repeat loan, basically. So once I sell those first 3, I can start rebuilding the next 3 and, the remaining 6.
Okay. Well, I think that, understanding that you're creating market space. I mean,
Yes.
you're with both the housing as well as a sort of mixed use with the artist studios that would be there, almost commercial-like. When I looked at the price range for the comps, it ranges from $275 to $450. That's a wide range. And I was just trying to understand, when you put the product in the marketplace, how is it going to be supported by itself? And that's why I was trying to make the connection with demand for artists live work space, because that might sell for a little bit more if the opportunity is there.
So the comps are based on already built houses or dilapidated housing. So we're literally creating a new market for it. Once that market is filled, and we can continue to build based off that. So the initial 3 houses, we're going to start off with the 375 mark, and then based on the market we'll grow with that number. So if the market rate is currently 4,000, maybe like a year or 2 later after we sell the first 3, then we build the next 3, we'll continue to grow with that market. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. All right, judges, 2 minutes. And then we hear from contestant number 4, EK. Everybody doing good? Yes, and after EK, there will be refreshments, but apparently not for our judges. They're going to be working. I'm just kidding. You get food too, but you're going to have to earn it. right, judges, are we ready? All right, please welcome to the stage EK, who's going to be talking about Forever Home Builders.
Hi, good evening. Hi. Thank you so much for coming out to the 4th annual University of Baltimore real estate event for Pitch for $1 Million. I'm so excited to share with you guys my idea on how to renovate and solve one of Baltimore City's greatest issues. Start off with a little bit about myself. My name is Ike Chukwu Opaibog. Most people call me Ike or Ike. I'm an alumni of the University of Baltimore. With the business administration. I did finance for about 5 years and worked in that section. At some point, I ended up saying that my passion is actually in real estate, so I left that industry and then went into becoming a real estate agent. And I now help investors who also invest in real estate. So as a real estate investor, I come across various different clients. Some of my clients are looking for specific needs in real estate. One of my clients actually was looking for a home for their aging family. They were looking for a home specifically with a bedroom and a full bathroom on the first floor. In Baltimore City with townhouses, typically you're not seeing that. If you live in Baltimore City, you already know. So it was a challenge looking for properties for this particular client. And if we did find a property, even if you had a full bathroom on the first floor, it was still a challenge to find some way for them to even access the property, right? They would still need a ramp or some type of chairlift or some type of installation. None of these homes are actually outfitted to accommodate people who have accessibility issues. Secondly, another example is I met a woman who was renting out a room in her 3rd floor. This is a 3rd floor townhouse, so she has 3 flights of stairs to go up. Even for me, as a young man, going up 3 flights of stairs is exhausting. So I felt so bad when we got to the 2nd flight of stairs and she had to take a breath. And I was like, please take your time. So needless to say, Forever Home Renovations is a company that is a development company that is looking to renovate homes with the thought process of keeping our aging population in mind. So over the last 8 years, the Baltimore City has actually seen an increase for the 65-plus community from 12% to 14%. That's about 82,000 people within Baltimore City who need or may need accessible house living. And this is actually really important because if you think about people who are aging in the community, they may actually end up leaving the community because the city does not provide an area for them to live that addresses those needs. So it's really important for us to retain those people, especially family members who want to look after their other family members who have those issues. So why did I choose Park Heights and Park Circle to be specific? Well, Park Heights is actually one of the areas where surrounding areas have a lot of concentration of 65-plus community. Places like Pimlico, Arlington, Hilltop, these are all places with a high concentration of people who are entering that age bracket. Also, Park Heights has great amenities in that area. It's a historic district. It has the Maryland Zoo, Pimlico Racecourse, and also Botanical Gardens. So there's great attractions in this area. So let's look at 3920 Park Heights Avenue, the property in question. This is a beautiful home, or it will be. It's currently on auction, and it should go off actually on February 13th. It is a 2-floor townhouse with about 1,700 square feet above ground with a basement. It's about 4 bedrooms and 1.5 baths. It actually sits on a lot size about 3,600 square feet, which has a really large backyard. This is actually really important because this actually allows us to add an additional bedroom and bathroom on the back of the house. The zoning laws actually allow for about 35% coverage within this particular lot. which means that you can have a house sitting on about 1,260 square feet. So we double that for the house, it's about 2,500 square feet if you wanted to have first floor and second floor be about 1,260 square feet. Let's go into the concept design. Here you can see that we've, thank you so much for Neighborhood Design Center, so much for coming up with this design. We really appreciate it. This was amazing. We added a bedroom and bathroom at the back of the house, and we added additional, had it sectioned off with 3 bedrooms upstairs. We also added a ramp on the side as well. Because this is an extension, and actually this is on a slope, there's a basement entrance in the back, so it's actually going to see 3 floors. We'd have to extend that basement entrance to accommodate for the additional space that we're adding on the back of the house. That can be used for storage or possibly a garage. Forever Homes Renovations is looking to expand this to the entire community. This is just an example property that we'll be working on that's currently coming up on the market for us to purchase, and we plan to do that for more homes. But in the meantime, while we're looking for more larger projects, we really want to help with the community in terms of retrofitting existing homes, whether that's adding extra bedrooms where possible, adding barrier-free showers, chairlift, elevators in the house, or ramps, etc. Let's get into the numbers. As a fan of this guy, this is my favorite part. So, as a real estate agent, I've looked at the comps for the particular areas. The highest is around 230 in terms of that particular area, and then the lowest are around 175 to 185. So that means that we can actually look at evaluating costs within that area. So I've decided, because Baltimore City is block by block, each block can be its own market. It can be a challenge to actually go by those numbers. Because this property is actually going to be sitting at about 2,130 square feet after we add an addition, it's actually going to give this property one of the best properties on the block. That actually evaluated it to about 240,000. However, I'm not going to list it for this. I'll list it for 225,000 because that'll actually drive attention and market aggressively. With that price, we can only purchase this property around 27,000 to make a 20,000 profit. At the end, we use square footage of about 2,130 times 70 for renovations as if it was a full remodel. So the total cost for us would be about $177,000 to remodel the home. I've also included all this other information, which I can explain later. But ultimately, that should have us walk away with the property with $20,000 at the end. We actually expect that with the current market conditions, if nothing really changes too drastically, that we can actually put the house on the market, sell it within 7 to 10 days, and hopefully actually push that price higher because we have marketed it effectively. Forever Homes Renovations really wants to focus, or have Baltimore City focus, on renovating homes with our elderly community in mind. This is actually really important to helping build a strong community, and I hope to do that within Park Heights. Thank you.
Fantastic presentation, thank you. Question regarding the lot next door, and you're looking at your property, the lot next door. Will that ever be built on?
I don't actually know. That lot had properties on it.
It's vacant now?
It's completely been raised. It's just plain lot now.
Okay. And then any issues in building the handicap accessible ramp width-wise? Is there going to be any setback or any issues how wide you can make that ramp?
So there were some zoning rules around accessibility as well. We looked into that. There shouldn't be any issues with adding a ramp on the side of the property.
Okay.
Question, sir. In regard to your presentation, it was good, but I have a question. You didn't provide anything on sources and uses of your funds. Did you have a different document that you were going to provide for us?
Yes, within the packet, you should see actually the spreadsheet that I actually kind of showed a snippet of. It should include everything in terms of costs.
It showed cost, but didn't say whether it was sources or uses. So that's what I'm concerned about.
Can you define sources and uses for me?
You don't know what that is?
Not in this context.
I won't define it then.
Okay.
You had mentioned that you hope to get the house for $26,000.
26 to 27, yep.
And what's it listed for? What are the chances of getting that? Just, I couldn't quite understand what it currently is.
So the great thing and kind of not so great thing is that this is an auction, right?
Oh, okay.
So there's no way to actually access the building. Really, you don't know what you're buying, which is why I put a very conservative number there. You'd have to buy it for something really low to make a profit. Even if I couldn't do this complete strategy, at least if I purchase it at that number, I would still make money.
Thank you.
And I wanted to come back to you as well, in terms of sources and uses. Are you referring to how we're going to use the money in the rehab?
Sources is where you're getting your money from, and uses are what are you going to use it for?
In terms of sources, it would just be traditional lending. We can look at either hard money lending or traditional lending with BCL, which was one of the people that I was thinking about in terms of funding.
Okay, but that wasn't documented. That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I was just confused. I didn't understand.
Okay.
So I think I had an awakening. So forever home renovation means you're thinking about sort of seniors and on. That's your focus? That's your mission? Is that what?
That's the focus,
Okay,
yes,
I
sir.
may have missed that. Okay, I appreciate that. Was there any, were you doing anything with the basement? Is there there's an existing basement, right?
There's an existing basement.
Is that included in your plan? You mentioned something about adding some storage in the back with the new addition, but I didn't hear anything about the basement for the existing structure.
I don't know what that basement looks like. So at most, I don't think I would furnish the basement. Really, I wanted to focus mostly on the top levels, so the above ground of the property. Extending that extra space in the back would just be for an entrance, which is why I said it would be either extra storage or some type of, maybe a garage possibly, if it has enough clearance. But I don't know what that basement looks like. It would really have to depend on what's left in the budget and what we can do with that space. It could be too low. We don't know if it's 7-foot height clearance, things like that.
And the owner's suite is the first floor rear?
Yes, there's the additional bedroom and bathroom that we'll be adding in the back
And
of
then
the
there's
house.
2 in the back on the second floor and 1 in the front.
So there's, on the second floor, yes, there's 1 in the front and then 2 in the back, right? With each one has their own bathroom.
The 2 in the back have bathrooms. The 1 in the front shares?
I have to look at the plans again,
Okay.
if you have it.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does.
I can't.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, EK. All right, can we bring out all of our, come, stay out here, stay out here, stay out here. Can we bring out all our fellows, please? Fellows? I lost my fellows. There we go, yay! Congratulations to you all. We are all going to step outside and get some refreshments in the other area. The judges are going to deliberate, and we'll come back here in about half an hour. But congratulations, fellows. Great job. Going to bring in the judges. And I'm going to bring in Sean Russell to tell you what they... I'm on, right? I'm on? Hello? Is this on? Are we on now? Can you guys hear me now? Hear me now? Hear me now? Hear me now? Should I just scream? Oh, it's not on. I don't need to be on.
Well, there's a mic for this, but you're not, the room's mic.
Do I need this to be on? Oh, when you turn the on button, does it work? All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for our judges. And I'm going to turn it over to Sean for an announcement.
Okay, I'll speak. Can everybody hear me? So So everybody in the front's probably going to break their ears, but I'm glad that the judges have reviewed and come up with a decision. And I want to, again, thank the judges for all of their help and their deliberation. And thanks SEMA for being an advisor and helping with the program this year. And BCL has been thrilled to be a part of this. So the 4th annual Pitch for $1 Million competition, the judges were unanimous in their decision. So the winner of this competition, this pitch this year, is Phaedra Stewart. And Phaedra's organization is Seriously Positive LLC, doing their work in Oliver, and we're thrilled to see that she's going to be able to move forward with this.
Thank you.
And through the program, basically, they've decided also to give you $30,000 worth of equity. And Baltimore Community Lending hopes to see you soon with an application and looking at a loan. Can we get all the fellows to come up, please? Because I'd like to recognize everyone.
Want to say anything before we turn it over?
Well, my name is Charlie Fenwick, and the judges were very impressed with all the candidates, and I think we all want to support the candidates. You all will have great careers in real estate, and so this is kind of a different type of situation where we had to pick something, but all of you guys are winners, and I encourage you to stay at it. And real estate is a wonderful career, and all you guys are extremely talented, and there's a bright future for you. And quite frankly, email me, and I'd love to meet you for coffee and brainstorm with ways to maybe tighten up the screws, and it's really cool. So keep it up, and we're all very impressed, and it was a fun process. So.
I'm quite proud to see you all do the great work that you're doing and your vision and your innovation. I encourage you to continue to learn, to listen to your communities, to find out what the needs are, and to go forth with your vision and the community vision as a whole to make Baltimore a better place, okay? And the communities richer, fuller for a long, long time to come. So continue the great work, and please take advantage of your resources. We are here to help you help Maryland be the best it can be, okay?
From my side of the house is that Tiffany kicked it off with that build, okay? Take that acronym and utilize it, because every one of those letters and every one of those words, she learned to do when she was doing her project when I was her advisor.
And I'm going to say ditto to what the other judges mentioned earlier, but I also want to say, encourage you to hang in there. This is a journey. It's not just a one pitch for one project. It's a journey you've begun. It's an important responsibility that you volunteered to take on as your career, and we want to see you there. We want to see you be successful. Don't give up. Stay focused, and it's a journey.
And I'll just finish, as a member of the board with Baltimore Community Lending since 2012, just because you guys did not win the money doesn't mean you can't come to us and look for financing, look for guidance, look for knowledge, and discuss your various projects. The door is always open for you guys. And each one of you had an incredible presentation and incredible projects.
Thank you.
So we're going to have a hand for all the fellows.
Fellows to come up too. I want to take a picture. Makita and Tiffany, take a picture with our current. Welcome to the Fellows Club. Oh, we have a photographer. That's awesome. Okay. I don't know how everybody's going to have to get real nice and tight. All right, tight. Tight enough here. Tight. We got the winner here.
All